Yeah. What did it cost me? I put myself in the front of the stage and watch nobody auction. I kept a DD inside of the lab while I made a concoction. I sip a little too often, assist a little too often. Working my ass off to make a hit for a nigga that's too busy golfing. I see the problem. I've been too busy thinking like a slave instead of the kings and Obamas. Or a nigga from Slauson. Yeah, but look what it cost me. Look what it cost me.
Queen, what it do, baby?
How are you?
What's playing in the living room?
That is Costly by Slay the Supreme and Xavier Brody, a.k.a. X Brody, b.k.a. X Brody. Stage name, both of their X Brody.
Verses a lot. They were a good time coming through with the message.
A message we need at this moment. So, yes, thank you to our, as No Name said, thank you to our rappers who are doing things.
Oh, no, you did not have to start with the mess.
I honestly started to bring that up in month in review, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. But should I do it? I guess I should do it now, huh?
I mean, we can. But first, let me say, people, welcome me, welcome you, welcome back to the living room. We have missed y'all. Full transparency, Sydney and I have not been able to get our shit together for a podcast because cry, sad.
The end, die, the end.
Literally, the world is on fire. Literally on fire. So we have just not been able to bring ourselves to some sort of mental capacity to do this podcast for you good people. But, you know, we have been in the talks every day complaining about the bullshit that is life these days. And trying to find ways to cling to positivities. But we are back in full effect. So we hope that you guys have missed us the way we have missed y'all for sure.
Yes, we're happy to be in a space where we can record I just know you were telling me that people had asked you where's the podcast, and one of my friends asked me recently, and I was like, oh girl, because it would have just been 2 hours of crying if we had
seriously, like
anything.
What else could we have talked about? So this week somebody's head got caved in. And this week someone was pepper sprayed until they were blind. This week a woman was tased in the stomach while pregnant. Like, Jesus Christ, there have just been no good things, honestly. But you know, we gonna talk about it. We gonna get through it together.
Absolutely.
I have some cool things to kind of mention and shout out as far as some things that some of my friends are doing to help everybody kind of pull through these moments of crisis. I mean, damn, y'all, we are millennials that have been through whole pandemics and new millenniums and the worst presidencies of all time, bird flu, swine flu, mad cow disease.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Corona.
Golly, I'm about to start crying. Okay, that's enough.
Okay, you know what? You're right. Everybody know. Look, if y'all listening, y'all know what we've been through. Just know that we still trying to figure out how to file taxes and get on our own insurances at this point, because we, you know, most of us have just graduated or in the realm of just graduating, and we have already been through all of the things before the age of 30. So my goodness,
we're gonna age badly at this rate.
I'm gonna have so many wrinkles. Y'all know I'm half Caucasian. Sheesh.
So yeah, but you know, so far we're still here, still kicking. The people are still in the streets fighting. Shout out to everybody in the streets fighting. Shout out to us for being back and not crying yet. Because wow,
truly.
But yes, let's get into something light, something fun. Right before we hopped on this good old podcast. I don't know why I said it like that.
Sydney is delirious, y'all. She has not slept. Y'all know how our podcasts get when we are lacking sleep. So.
Yeah, or you just know how it gets. Well, this is actually more of a, like, I ain't been out the house and seen nobody in a while. Like a cabin fever kind of thing. Anyway.
She doesn't know how to socialize anymore.
Nope, I don't know how to talk on the phone no more. I started blending something when I was on the phone. I think, was that me and you? And I was like, sorry, I'm not used to people anymore. I'll be forgetting this is going to blow your eardrums out. All kind of crazy things. Anyway, sorry, y'all. Back to the subject matter at hand. Aisha suggested that we start off with something light. One of her favorite pastimes is white films, because she ain't seen no black ones. So she wants us to
So everybody who, you know, likes to scream, reverse racism, just so y'all know, I stand a good Jason Bateman, okay? Like, who are y'all to come for me, okay? The white actors have my full attention. Thank you very much.
We know.
Well, first, I guess I could start with a couple of my favorite white shows.
Okay.
I was just kikiing my ass off to King of Queens, literally like 10 minutes ago, so... Oh, that's a lie, because I took a nap and I studied. So maybe like an hour ago. King of Queens is one of my all-time favorite shows. And then, of course, The Office. If you don't watch The Office, I feel bad for you, son. But yeah, those are some of my favorite shows. Do you have any favorite white shows, Sydney?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. Sister, That's So Raven. Those are my 2 favorite shows of all time.
Oh, well, those are very white. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to think of what my favorite shows actually are, so I can think about if I ever watched. I didn't watch Friends. I didn't watch King of Queens.
Oh God, Friends is a good time.
I used to watch a little bit of Not oh my God! My favorite white show is Grace and Frankie.
oh my God!
Yes, it's crazy because I was trying to get out another name. Like, you know how those shows have like the male female name as the title, and so as I was thinking about it, Grace.
I think you were thinking about Will and Grace.
Will and Grace. Yep, that was it.
I've never seen that.
I used to watch that back in the day when we didn't have. When I used to be in South Carolina at our other house. You heard that flex? Another one. Anyway, we didn't have like DirecTV down there, so we just had like whatever was coming on the what is was cable? I don't know what that's called. Not cable. The local channels, yeah, and they used to come on, and I used to watch that. But my favorite show that is white is, of course, Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin on Netflix and Grace and Frankie, because it's all about old ass women that be cussing. I just think that there is something very
and talking about their vaginas and gifting each other dildos.
Yep. They have their own dildo company. It's a good time. I guess because it's just such a weird. I love like things that are just like what? Like I wouldn't have thought of that. Like I wouldn't have thought to make a show about older women who are damn near 80 talking about a vibrator brand that they made for women because they have arthritis. It's lit. And then they're like inventors. They make a toilet that rises up because it's hard to get off the toilet when you get older. So it just rises your ass up for you.
I think I only really gave my full attention to that one episode that they were trying to get the crosswalks extended.
Yeah, the one I made you watch.
Yes, I think that's the only one I actually watched.
Oh my gosh, yo! When she said "at your age," and they said "it's your thing," do what you want to do. I'm here for music.
Sydney will like Grace and Frankie. She thinks that's gonna be me and her when we get older.
I want it to be us when we get older.
I don't think we're gonna make it.
Except
I'm looking at the way I'm looking at the trajectory of life right now, and it's not looking good.
Except for the gay husbands that leave us devastated, I would like for that to be us.
I would like to avoid that part.
Yeah, that part. But I would like to, imagine we have a beach house and we're rich and we start inventing things. We already have a business together. We already got the podcast. So we just start making shit for old women that old women need. Maybe we can be the black Grace and Frankie and make a black owned vibrator brand. We should make a vibrator brand in general. I think that would be great. We should start making
I'm about to leave this podcast. It's been real, y'all. God bless. Get the hell out the living room. Peace.
So you don't want to make a vibrators with me? You know?
Do you have any white movies that are honorable mentions, Sid?
Oh, okay. So the answer to that is a hard no. You had to head out.
I just want to know who else is relating to me. When I name mine, I want to hear all the, oh my God, me too. And I don't tell nobody because I'm black. And I'm going to be like, stand in your truth, sis. Stand in your truth and celebrate those Caucasian movies because some of them are a good time.
Honestly, Grace and Frankie might really be the only show. But as far as movies go, hello. Everybody knows I love a good white film. Booksmart is my shit.
You have got to stop with this.
I love it so much. I love, I think her name is Billy Lord, and she was on Scream Queens. She was one of the Chanels on there, and she's in Booksmart. And so as soon as I saw her, I was like, God knows my heart. So there's that. There's Rough Night. Everybody knows. Everybody that knows me knows how much I love Rough Night. I made all of my friends watch it. If they hadn't already, I am a big fan of. I like this movie from back in the day called Can't Hardly Wait. You know what I like? I like movies about graduation because they're always insane. They're always like very over the top, very dramatic plot lines of craziness.
We thought every year at school or every year like above us was gonna get lit because we watched too much TV and shows growing up, and then we got to that year at school, we're like, this is trash.
It's nothing like it is in the movie.
I thought ninth grade was gonna be the fuck lit. It's awful.
Yeah, I can't say that I had an awful ninth grade. I had a good time because I was in the band, but it just wasn't like Project X. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like
no, not at all.
My graduation wasn't like Booksmart, but I would have loved, minus the not partying the whole other 3 excuse me, years of school. I would have loved to have graduated the way those two girls did, because that was a great time. That might, I'm gonna tap out here and think about it while you tell the people what your other favorite white movies are, because I know I got a lot more. Oh, Bridesmaids. Okay. Bridesmaids is a good one.
Oh, that was on my list. Yeah.
That's a good one, but continue.
Okay, I'm gonna name Matilda.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, I love Matilda. Such a good time. Mean Girls, of course.
Of course. How did I forget? How did I not see that coming? You can quote it, the whole thing.
The whole thing, front to back, forward, backward. The Notebook.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, you got to do better. Game Night. Y'all know I love Game
Oh,
Night.
hell no. That's on your top. That's on your top?
Because every time I think of Game Night, the only scene that I just see in my brain is them trying to cut that hole in his arm. He said it's a bullet, not a grapefruit.
Yeah, how you feel about me and Booksmart is how I feel about you and Game Night. Like, I'm just not impressed.
And speaking of Jason Bateman, Couples Retreat as well. Such a good time. And then you already said Bridesmaids. So then I would say the last one that's up there near the tippy top. Oh, you know what? Made in Manhattan. That's a good time. It's not like a comedy, but it's a good time. But Big Daddy, that's my other like super.
I should have saw that coming. Dude, I gotta give a shout out to Kate Hudson, because I'm a fan. I like her movies. I liked her in The Skeleton Key, that scary ass movie. It wasn't scary, but it was scary.
No. I don't do the scary thing.
I liked her in Bride Wars. I'm sorry, with Anne Hathaway. I'm a fan of Anne Hathaway. I like her. I
just watched The Princess Diaries like 3 nights ago.
I've never seen it. But I must add Easy A, because if you know me.
Oh yeah, Easy A is good.
You know how much I love Emma Stone. Like Easy A was, I love that movie so much that for my like 18th or 17th birthday, I walked around the hotel room. My mom would always get me hotel rooms with my friends for my birthday back in high school. I walked around the hotel room screaming that song. Take me away. That was me, because it was in the movie and I love the movie so much. So Emma Stone, anything with Emma Stone in it. The Help, which I know it's not a black movie, but I loved her in The Help. I didn't see La La Land, but anyway. I feel so my tops, I'm definitely gonna say Booksmart, and I'm definitely gonna say Rough Night for now. That's all I can say is in my top white movies, especially when we're talking about white comedies. Hello?
Well, just top white movies. A lot of mine just happen to be comedies.
Oh, Inception. Hello. What a great time. Chris Nolan has the director for all of the newest Batman movies, like the Dark Knight movies. He did Inception. He has a movie coming out with Denzel Washington's son called Tenet. And it is also kind of like Inception, except amazing and crazy. I don't watch previews, so I don't know exactly what it's about, but I just know shit is like running backwards, like time is going backwards. And they're like police officers or something like that, or like detectives, and it looks amazing. So anything that Chris Nolan does, I love. I'm trying to think. I think I'll cut it off there. I don't want to give people too much. I don't want to put too much in my top. But yeah, if you don't remember nothing else, Booksmart and motherfucking Rough Night are my shit. They're my shit.
All right. Well, I really just had to bring this game to light because that's all you white people are getting from us for the rest of this podcast. Because y'all know y'all been on some shit lately and y'all have been ruining everyone's lives. So if y'all have done nothing else good, those movies are your compliments and your accomplishments and your contributions to the world. And that's it, because we're about to get into the mess. Sorry about it.
I just want all white people to know that I appreciate the 4 white women with all of my heart and soul that wrote Booksmart, because it made me so happy.
They probably all like contribute to Donald Trump's reelection.
Why would you say that? Have you seen it?
Because anytime you get
Neighbors,
props, they always have to show their ass.
Have you seen Neighbors? That's also one.
I don't think so.
With Zac Efron and Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah.
I watched Sausage Party last night. I would like to throw that in there as one of my favorites.
Why do you don't tell people this anymore? Stop.
No, I'm okay with that. I told Bad Moms. Oh my God, I love Mila Kunis.
Okay, Sydney, we are done giving white people props. Can we move on?
I'm just trying to make sure I don't see nothing else on this list.
Are you scrolling?
Yeah.
Sydney done typed in white movies that black people like.
I typed in comedy movies, and of course, if you don't type in black, then only white ones are going to come up.
Yeah, that's true.
So you know how that goes.
All right, well, let's move on. So month in review. I wanted to kick it off with a question of how did you celebrate and continue to celebrate Juneteenth?
Oh, look at you. I was in the house. I was
Hello, pandemic.
not going to go out into the streets with the people. I started the documentary series Who Killed Malcolm X on Netflix. So I watched one episode of that. I was supposed to watch a documentary about Tulsa, but I don't know what happened to that. I got distracted, I guess. I probably woke up late that day. But then I also went to see the Black Lives Matter mural in Charlotte. I wanted to go visit that because I didn't know how long it was going to be there. I just wanted to see it with my own eyes. So I actually,
because they will paint shit over.
Okay, not only that, but somebody had already defaced it.
They did donuts on it or some shit.
Yeah. So, but it was still, of course, still beautiful. You can still see it. It wasn't horrible. But I was just like, wow, you really. In my head, I was like, you really. I don't know if the barricades were there before. But if they were, I was like, you really took your time to drive downtown.
Oh, there are barricades around it.
Yeah, move the barricades to get your car, your motorcycle, your whatever. But Kalia was saying she felt like it was a car because there were two streak marks. So you moved them barricades, got your car in there, drove around, and then left. You took your energy to do that? Oh, for a mural? Okay, cool, whatever. So I went to see that. I also got to hang out with Brittany and Kalia that day. So shout out to them for being wonderful Black women. And we just stood outside because, wasn't letting nobody come in my house. But
fair.
We just stood outside. I also did some fireworks from
oh no.
What? You don't like fireworks?
I just don't know why I've heard them every single night for the past 2 months, and it's not even white people's holiday yet. Why are people putting off fireworks every night?
Yeah,
starting at 8 p.m.
Yeah, I noticed that too. My neighbors were doing fireworks the other night, and I was like, "What is this for?" I don't understand. But it could have been a birthday. I don't know. But anyway, I did that for Juneteenth because I love fireworks. I grew up 4th of July. Oh my God! Speaking of Juneteenth, I would just like to say that my dad, who is a whole 61 years old, said that he had never heard of Juneteenth until this year. Right. And I just thought that was sickening. But say that to say,
and he's from South Carolina, right?
He's from Philadelphia, actually.
Oh,
yeah, I know, weird. But I think he spent most of his time down here. But I actually am not sure when my dad moved down here. Now that you say that, I actually have never asked him what age he was when he moved down here. But I will ask and I will let you know. But yeah, he was so sorry. Well, the reason I brought that up was because this was tradition in my household. We would go to South Carolina and get those illegal ass fireworks, the bombs, the ones that they really be popping into downtown fireworks shows.
As everyone who lives even remotely close to South Carolina does.
Exactly. We went and got those. We would get 2 boxes of them, and the neighborhood would literally be waiting on us to kill and murder everybody else's fireworks because they just got theirs from the local Walmart, and we went out of the state and smuggled them in. And so sad to say, it was tradition. So I love fireworks. It's always, especially I like doing them myself. But Kalia and Brittany don't like fireworks, so Kalia had anxiety every time I pop one of the ones, the firecrackers that you light in your hand and throw, the ones that make people think.
I don't, we always had a lot of fireworks when we were kids, but I remember I told you about that ghost book that was read to me when I was in 4th grade, and I was just having nostalgic moments, so I ordered it the other day and I read it.
I'm sorry, a ghost book?
Yeah, it was a ghost book that my teacher read to me in 4th grade, and I think about it all the time. And randomly the other day, I'm like, you know what? I'm always thinking about this book. I should get it.
Did you order it from Amazon?
Well, actually, where did I order it from? I don't remember because it was hard to find.
My eyebrows raised at you.
I don't think so because it was only $4, and I don't feel like I can find a book.
Oh yeah, no, probably not. Okay,
anyway. I don't know, but either way, the girl in the book became a ghost because she blew her face off with firecrackers. So I think
you die from blowing your face off.
Well, she a boy threw it in their yard when they were younger, and her baby sister grabbed it, so she went to grab it out of her sister's hand and was trying to throw it, but she didn't throw it in time, so it 3rd degree burned her face and hands and everything. She ended up dying. So I think subconsciously I've been terrified of them since I was read that story when I was a kid.
Damn. You remember when old girl got her face fried off in Scream Queens? And they were like, oh my God, she's dead.
Cindy, you're the only one who religiously watched that.
Listen, you watched it with me. And she was like, oh my God. They were like, oh my God, she died. She's dead. And she was like, you can't die from getting your face fried off. That's how I feel about.
Can.
That's how I feel about getting your face blown off. Like I feel like.
You feel like you don't need your face to live?
No,
this is weird.
No, it's not that I don't think you need your face, but I just like I don't know. I feel like it can be reconstructed.
I'm confused as well.
It's kind of like
No, I'm telling you now. If my face gets blown off, don't worry about reconstructing anything. I don't need you to take skin grafts from my thighs or none of that. Just let me go. Just let me go.
I just feel like
I don't need that kind of stress in my life.
I just feel like if you can get your arm blown off and live, I feel like your arm and your face are equivalent to living.
No, I think your face is much more relevant to life. Sorry. Anyway, so anything else that you did to celebrate Juneteenth?
I might have read that day. I've been reading They Came Before Columbus. That's my newest read. A book about the presence of Africans in the ancient Americas, so North and South America. But that might be it. I just hung out with Brittany and Kalia and talked and chatted. And then we all went downtown later that night to see the mural. There was a lot of people down there. Not a lot, not so many that I would have turned around because y'all know social distance. I'm not playing about that shit. But yep, that was my celebration. What about yours, Queen? What'd you do?
Yeah, it was a Friday. I'm trying to think what all I did. Oh, I made a lot of food. I mean, it's only 2 people in my house, but I made like greens and macaroni and cheese and some pasta salad and like a panko crusted chicken type of thing with some gravy. I just trying to make some like a good black ass meal. I of course read that day. I worked out. I just kind of like meditated and spent time thinking of and honoring, our ancestors for how far we come. Like to think like your dad is 61 has never even heard of Juneteenth. Like that's so crazy to me. And there's a lot of people this year who are like, oh, I never heard of Juneteenth before. And you and I were like, wait, what? Like, how have you never what? Even though neither one of us have really known about it for so long. Like I feel like even when I learned about it, I felt like I knew that somewhere inside of me or heard it before. But of course, the past maybe 3, 4. God, how long have we been out of school? I don't know. At least the past 4 or 5 years, I feel like we have celebrated or honored or acknowledged or heard of Juneteenth. So it is kind of crazy that so many people are just now. Donald Trump says that he's the one who gave highlight to Juneteenth. So shout out to you, Donald Trump, for teaching us Black history. File that in the never thought I'd see the day folder. But yeah, as I continue to celebrate Juneteenth, I just kind of do what I always do. The same thing for Black history or just everyday life. Find ways to support Black business, gift things to your friends. I ordered like a Black-owned candle for a friend. I ordered a Black book for another friend. I got a Black-owned sweat belt from Keisha Kayor.
That girl loves some Keisha Kayor, honey.
Yes. Oh, and I found some Black-owned wine, which is pretty cool. It's created by a winery by the McBride sisters, 2 Black sisters who created that wine line. And it was actually at my local grocery store because when I went online, I was like, I guess I'm going to have to order this. And when I went on their website, it showed me places that sold it, and it said my local Ralph's did. So that was pretty cool. Just finding ways to support Black businesses is how I celebrate Juneteenth because I think it's really important to keep our Black dollar in our communities as long as possible because at the end of the day, the white people have the control of these monopolies. So there's only so much we can do. Like I was telling somebody the other day, I was trying to organize my thoughts and I wanted a notebook. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just run to the Dollar Tree, grab me a notebook real quick. And then I was like, well, if we're going to go to the Dollar Tree, let me look and see if I can find a Black-owned notebook. And, of course, when you Google, like, Black-owned notebooks and office supplies, it's all, like, the cartoon Black characters on the notebooks, like a little Black girl with Afro puffs wearing a doctor outfit or something. Like, it's, like, real, like, childish-looking stuff. I'm like, wow, I can't just find, like, a plain Black notebook that happens to be sold by Black people, and it was a no for that. So Mario was basically like, yeah, I mean, think about how many Black people are owning the paper supply companies. I was like, wow, this is some bullshit. Like that makes me so mad. But Yeah, so just being more conscious of like things that I can find, because there are batteries, there is laundry detergent, there's literally soap, dish soap, whatever. There's, you know, facial moisturizers, there's makeup, there's hair products, there's combs and brushes, there's everything under the sun, Black owned. You just might have to look a little harder for it. But thankfully right now I'm proud of the consciousness of so many people who are not only making these lists, like, you know, doing the hard work of putting these lists together, or, you know, making a post on their page and say, hey, tag your Black owned business below or what have you, or posting it in their stories. I think that's really, really dope. And I just pray and hope that we can keep this energy going and that it doesn't just disappear as riots and protests start to fade out. Like, these things need to remain important. Mm-hmm. The next topic I wanted to cover was talking about the Confederate flags and statues. And it was just kind of crazy because I was like we've been here. Like, literally, was it 3 years ago? After Dylan Roof, like, everybody's, you know, ripping the Confederate flags off of everything. And then my whole thought process was, I was born and raised in the South, so I've always been uncomfortable and consciously, like, acknowledging Confederate flags and statues. Like, why the fuck are these things here? Like, why do people think these things are okay? And it was like randomly in 2017, they were all getting, you know, pushing down statues and tearing down Confederate flags and this and third from state capitals. What was that girl? Breonna Newsom?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 2015.
Bree Newsom? Yeah. It's like all that kind of started happening. So now that's happening again. I'm like, that's great and all, but I thought we were on a wave of ripping all that shit down before. So, you know, I am glad for the new conscious level, though. Like, I hope that energy keeps going, and that's how I am preserving my Juneteenth year-round, my Kwanzaa year-round, my Black History year-round.
Absolutely. That's dope. Yeah, I also hope that this energy remains here, because, you know, without it, we'll just go back to business as usual. And that's what I'm afraid of, even in the sense of, like, social media. That's why, like, for me, like, I'm starting to a little bit more now post other things, but, like, for a while, I was like, I'm not even going to post nothing on here, whether it be my story or my timeline, if it ain't got nothing to do with Breonna Taylor or any other Black life, whether it's been taken or still alive. Because for me, I think, you know, the issues are very multifaceted. Like, it's like, okay, cool, police brutality, let's target that. Cool. Let's target these statues. Okay, cool, but let's also talk about how coronavirus hit us, and apparently we're dying at 2 to 3 times more in the U.S. than other people. That's an issue. Let's talk about Black women being 4 times more likely to die giving birth. Let's talk about that. That's a problem. Let's talk about our education and how it's patriarchal and sexist and homophobic. Let's talk about, like, you know, so I'm like, let's get everything. And I was having a conversation with someone on social media, because I had posted about the girl who plays a Black cartoon character on Big Mouth, which I don't know if that's considered a white show or not, but I'll put that also on my list from earlier. Okay. But and she was like stepping down from playing a Black character, and one of my friends from ECU commented, and she was like, is it bad that I was like that I didn't think this was a big deal, like I wanted to concentrate and focus on other things? And I was like, no, I feel that, I understand, but I was like, for me, I guess I'm on some like, yeah, dismantle all of it, anything that's a problem, let's get it all now. Let's not even, like, to me it's like, oh, I'm not distracted, I can focus on more than one thing at a time. I might only be able to focus on 2 or 3, but I don't have to just focus on one. I can also be like, oh yeah, girl, step down from that role as a cartoon character. Let's apply some pressure. All right, cool. Breonna Taylor's murderers. Let's apply some pressure. Okay, cool. Defund the police. Let's apply pressure. Like, I think I can see all these different issues and focus on all of them, because at the end of the day, and like I was telling her, like, I was like, for me, again, if it weren't for racism, we wouldn't have to worry about this stuff. Like, if it wasn't for historical racism, I wouldn't have to be like, white girl, why are you playing this Black cartoon character? Same thing with now there's like all these YouTubers who are like getting in trouble for things that they've been posting from years ago. Like, this guy I used to follow named Shane Dawson is getting in. He put up a video saying that he was,
wow, you followed him
way back in the day. Yes.
Wow. I didn't even know who he was. I literally only saw the post from Jada Pinkett and Jaden.
Oh yeah, talking about him, the whole masturbation thing.
Yeah, the blackface and the masturbation to 11-year-old Willow.
Yeah. And so he was saying, like, you know, I'm sorry for, like, you know, what I've done. Apparently he hasn't, well, when I looked yesterday, they were saying that he hadn't responded to the Willow thing yet, but he was responding to the blackface thing. And so saying that to say, like, I can look at all these different things and say, yeah, this is where I was going with that was, see, if we didn't have stuff like blackface and all the other ways in which Black people have been discriminated against in Hollywood or have lost out on jobs, we wouldn't have to be like, girl, you can't play this Black character. Like, if our roles weren't so scarce, maybe we wouldn't have to be on everybody's ass about every quote unquote little thing. But I don't get mad at people. Like, even remember when we talked about the Black jack-o'-lanterns? Like, for me, I was like, again, if it weren't for racism, we wouldn't have this problem. Like, if your ancestors hadn't done such shitty things, we wouldn't have to be upset about a damn pumpkin. So that's why, like, for me, I'm like, I don't think anything is quote unquote too big or too small. If it bothers you, if it bothers people who work in that industry, then it is a problem. So if I were to meet somebody who works in Hollywood and they were like, and they're black, and they say, yeah, I think that's a problem because it's hard enough finding roles as a black woman, I would be like, oh, absolutely, girl. White girl, step down from that role. So apparently there's a white man playing Cleveland. He stepped down on Family Guy. Not Kristen Wiig. There's another girl named there's a girl named Kristen who plays on The Good Place. Apparently she was playing a biracial cartoon character. She stepped down. So yeah, for me.
Oh yeah, I saw that, Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell. Yep. So say that to say, I don't think any problem is too small, and I also think that we can put our energy in a whole lot of places, and I think we got a whole lot of work to do. So let's self-care. Of course, but let's get to this work. As y'all like to say, let's get to this money. Let's get to this work, this activism. Let's get to this activism.
Okay. All right. Well, also in the realm of Confederate flags and statues and people stepping down, I just kind of wanted to highlight real quickly a few of the places just in the past couple weeks that has been like kind of re-sparked for taking down these statues and flags, etc. I know the NAACP says that they will not. I guess let the like Mississippi schools play with them because the Mississippi flag has the Confederate flag inside of it. So of course, white people are mad about that. Oh, we've been here forever. Why can't we just keep being racist fucks? But in the past few weeks since George Floyd's death, Charleston, South Carolina has removed John C. Calhoun from his pedestal. Again, some of these statues that are being like torn down, some are by the cities and the states, and some of them are just protesters being like, no, we've seen enough. Norfolk, Virginia, Portsmouth, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, which Louisville, Kentucky. There are like 110 statues, I think they said, in Virginia that are dedicated to the Confederacy. Wow. And apparently like 13 of them were in Richmond alone. So it's like, girl, Virginia, get your shit together. What is wrong with y'all? I don't even know if North Carolina has that many. And North Carolina was the first to secede from the Union. So I don't even like why Virginia's like, no, we're keeping all of these statues. We're keeping the things. Jacksonville, Florida, Birmingham, Alabama, which by the way, we spoke on this show. I don't know, some of the very first episodes that we had, and we talked about Emmett Till getting his new sign, his new bulletproof sign that recently just went up, marking where Emmett Till's body was found in the river. Montgomery, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Alexandria, Virginia, Mobile, Alabama, Frankfort, Kentucky, Decatur, Georgia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., and all the way across the pond in Bristol, UK. So, yeah, some things are happening. There are parts moving. Shout out to all the people who have their foots on necks. This is just a time that I wanted to bring up the idea that you guys have got to stop tearing each other down for what you think somebody else's activism should be. Now, for one, I would like to point out that white people, for some reason, want to tell black people how to respond in their anger. Oh, if you're angry, you should be voting. Oh, if you're angry, you should be at like city council meetings and the prosecutor, whatever the fuck's. Like, that's cool and all, girl, but you got to understand that everybody can't deal with racism in the same way. You as a white person, yes, of course, your votes just statistically are going to outnumber black votes. It doesn't matter if every single black person in Charlotte, North Carolina was like, hey, we don't like this person that's running for the prosecutor, so we're not going to vote for him. It doesn't matter. If white people wanted him to keep staying in that office, their few little extra votes are going to matter way more than ours will, unfortunately. That's just how the numbers game works. That's how the district zoning works. Like, they make sure that white people are going to have that power as far as voting is concerned. But telling us to be angry or telling us that we got to correct everybody who says something, like, for white people to think, like, I've heard them say basically, like, well, when white people say these racist things, like, you need to just shut their asses up. You need to say something. You need to do something. I'm like, okay, so clearly you have read about racism and you've never experienced it, because as black people, we already know that we don't get to be the aggressor all the time. We don't get to walk in spaces and take up all of the room and be the center of attention, because we know that's going to be perceived as aggression. So I say that to say that not just white people, but just highlighting that aspect as well, because again, you get to read about racism. We have to experience it. So how we respond to it is going to be different. Don't tell us not to loot, not to riot, not to scream, not to break statues, not to rip down flags. Don't tell us how to be angry. Don't tell us what way works, because guess what, girl? We have been at this moment like for 400 years and we're still not where we need to be. So we don't need you, who just found a book yesterday, to tell us how to go about our activism. Secondly, everybody is not meant to be protesting. Everybody is not meant to be on the front lines. Everybody's not meant to be the person who's so tough that they can handle being tear gassed or shot in the face with a rubber bullet or pushed down and have your skull cracked open on the concrete. Everybody's not meant to be on the front lines. It is okay if you're a person who tweets. It is okay if you're a person who posts on Instagram. It is okay if you're a person who calls local authorities and demands the arrest of some of their officers. It is okay if you're writing emails to the mayors. It is okay if you'd rather get people to register to vote and help them making a voting decision. There are lots of ways to combat racism. There is no one way fixes everything. It's just not going to work. We could take away prisons and there's still going to be other things. We could give everybody affordable housing. There's still going to be other things. We could decide we are no longer allowed to discriminate in giving jobs, and there's still going to be more. Everybody can't focus on one thing, and that is okay. And everybody isn't meant to be the same exact revolutionary or activist. There are multiple ways, even if that means with what you do, all that is you talk to your family at Thanksgiving dinner and try to affect change in that way. There are lots of things that we could be doing, and I just think that we just have to have more grace as to how we judge each other on activism. Again, everybody ain't meant to do the same thing. Everybody hasn't read the same books or have the same college education or done the same research. So I personally, I don't look to my, just to use names, I don't look to my J. Cole, I don't look to my Gucci Mane, I don't look to my Beyonce to tell me what to think of the climate that we're in. Because guess what? I don't know the things that they know. They don't know the things that I know. I'm, a biracial mixed woman from the South. They have come from different places, read different books, had different experiences to them personally, been in different financial situations. We are not all the same, and we don't have to react all the same. I just think that we should be more gracious towards each other and how people find their voice to activism. Because again, it is always going to be different for everybody. As long as you're all doing something, I don't think that there's one thing that we all have to focus on. I don't think that's fair to even think. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I had to get a lot of that out of my system because I just get so tired of seeing people, oh, I can't believe you guys are rioting, or I can't believe you guys are being peaceful at protests, or everybody just has to nitpick each other. And it's just girl, we are all doing what we feel like we can do, because obviously there has been no proven method overall because we're still fighting. It's been 400 years. Okay. Obviously nobody has the blueprint. Okay, I feel that. All right. Still a month in review? I have a month in review. Yeah, I just had 2 more things. Okay. One thing I was just going to mention real quick, that Siri has started, or I guess Apple products. The creative, this was Peter something, I don't remember. But anyway, it's a way to get Siri to automatically record your encounters with police. So you just say, hey, Siri, I'm being pulled over. And she puts your phone basically on Do Not Disturb, so you won't have any incoming calls that would knock off your video. And it would video record and audio record your interaction, based on where you put your phone. And then it had an automatic feature that would text whoever you have designated as your contact to let them know that you're being pulled over, and also record and or post the video. Sorry, somebody just texted me. But anyway, and post the video to maybe your Facebook Live or what have you. So I thought that was pretty cool. I tried to figure out how to download it from my own phone, and I couldn't really figure it out, but I do know that I want to have a camera in my car. I just was talking to Mario about that the other day. I was like, I got to figure out how to have one of those in my car. So I have my own dash cam because, police like to yell out laws that don't exist about you're not legally allowed to record me, etc. And who am I going to believe if somebody has a gun in my face? So I just thought that was pretty cool that Siri is now, that's a feature that you can add. You have to download it as part of your Shortcuts app. And then you have to give your phone permission to use it. So it's not just automatically going to be on there. So that is a feature that you are interested in using. You're going to have to Google it and see exactly how to download it and activate it on your phone, because there's going to be some settings you're going to have to maneuver as far as privacy settings, etc. Yeah, I heard that, and I was like, this is another one of these examples of why we need to abolish the police, because if we even need something like that, it's a problem. But I will say that tech companies make tech. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? I think that they're doing what the best thing they can do in their field.
Kind of like the Black Lives Matter mural, right? I feel like there were people, I'm assuming there were people who had the same response to the Black Lives Matter mural that had this, like, the same kind of response to that as they did to, like, hearing that Siri can now, record when you get put over by police. Like, I don't want this isn't what we asked for. But artists make art, you know what I'm saying, and tech people make tech. So I think that people are just doing what's best. But I think, again, we can't necessarily focus. We're still, to focus on the Black Lives Matter mural or to focus on this new feature of Siri is still focusing on symptoms and not the root cause. Because it's like, I'm not angry with artists for making art. I'm angry with Charlotte for trying to use it as a mechanism for pacifying us, because at the same time, Charlotte, whoever the powers may be who sanctioned off on that mural, then still signed to spend 40% of Charlotte's budget on policing when there is a housing crisis, one that they think is going to get worse in Charlotte because of the coronavirus. And we don't have the funds for this, we don't have the funds for that, but we could have taken some of that money from police. So say that to say, I commend tech people for making tech. I commend artists for making art. I just want all the people who have power to make systematic changes to get on their shit and do their jobs. But shout out to Apple for playing a part in trying to keep people safe when the police, I guess, won't do so. So,
yeah, again, it is kind of crazy for, a company as big as Apple to be like, oh, this is a problem. Let's make tech and, maybe make money or whatever off of this. But as a country and a society, you can't be like, oh, wow, they're making whole live tech to record us because we like to cover up our cameras or not release footage, even when the judges demand that we do. Oh, this is problematic as fuck. So hopefully we can see real change and not just the pacifying kind. So as we get into our segment Blank While Black, I think Sydney wanted to start us off. I just wanted to say we are just going to be honoring our brothers and sisters who have fallen in the year of 2020 alone. It's been already about 10 trans individuals. I know 2 of the names. I'm sorry, I don't know more. But Nina Pop and Tony McDade, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Elijah McClain, just police brutality from all angles. They literally pushed a 75-year-old white man down to his skull, cracked it open on the sidewalk, and it immediately started bleeding out of the back of his head and his ears, and they refused to help him. So basically, police brutality is not only our issue. Like, it doesn't just plague black people. So, again, when you say that all lives matter bullshit, then y'all should be just as angry as us because it affects more than just us. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, let's get into Blank While Black. Sydney, what do you have for us?
I guess I had a month in review, but I can just put it in Blank While Black.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just about Breonna Taylor. Just some updates.
Okay.
Gotcha. So Detective Brett Hankinson has been fired. He was, as of June 23rd, which was 3 months after Breonna Taylor was shot sleeping in her home. She was shot 8 times, in case y'all don't know some of the deets or all of the deets. It was Hankinson and 2 other officers, though, and they were all placed on administrative leave. Hankinson is the only one who has been fired. Then nobody has been arrested, charged, imprisoned, none of that good stuff. But they were saying that Hankinson blindly shot 10 rounds into that apartment, and some of them actually went into the apartment next door, so he was just endangering all kinds of lives. But the family and the lawyers representing Breonna Taylor's family want to see all the officers held accountable. They want additional charges to be filed, or charges in general. Some updates are that the FBI, the Louisville office of the FBI, opened an investigation. The Louisville Police Department now requires all sworn officers to wear body cams. Again, to me, I think that when we see the things that police officers have done, both presently and historically, I think that is a given, and it should be something that has to take place all over the United States. And I think that's kind of like the Black Panthers survival programs, programs pending. Survival programs pending revolution. I feel like, to me, the idea of making police officers wear body cams is something we want y'all to do pending we get rid of y'all altogether. This is what we want y'all to do in the meantime, and while we figure out how to get rid of policing altogether. And so the other 2 officers who I would like to name, because I feel like their names should be known, are Miles Cosgrove and Jonathan Mattingly. And they have not been fired. They have not been charged. They have not been arrested. So that's what people are are pushing for now. Like there's like a screenshot going around. I posted it yesterday on my own page about like a checklist, and it's like on the checklist, like of all 3 officers getting fired, of all 3 of them being charged, of all 3 of them being sentenced and whatnot. Only 1 has been fired, so that's how far we've gotten into that. Yeah. But say that to say, you can pause the podcast and you can email the Attorney General Cameron, and tell him that you would like all of these officers to be fired and charged. But also another update too was that the no-knock warrants have now been banned in Louisville. I think it's called Breonna's Law. So,
yeah, and yet she has a law named after her, so none of these things can happen again. And the police officers who are the reason that the law had to be made are not arrested. This is fine. This is 2020 for us.
Again, another one of those, like, don't try to pacify me. Like, this is cute. This is great, but we also want. So again, it's just, to me, it's just all about keeping your foot on these people's necks. But the police officers now have to, as a part of Breonna's Law, the police officers now have to wear body cameras when they are conducting a search. They have to wear them for a minimum time period. I'm sorry, the actual camera itself has to be on for a minimum time period, both before and after they go through the operation if they're doing once they go through the search. And they also have to announce themselves as having a search warrant, and they have to wait on a 15-second response before they can enter a home. So again, all things that are great reform efforts, all things that I feel like should have been in place to begin with. But again, we could talk about the past, but no sense in dwelling on it, because I can't change that Breonna is dead, but I can change nobody else dying because of that same thing. But pause the podcast, send an email, call a phone number. They are all over the internet. They are all over Instagram about who you can call and who you can email. But like I said, you can definitely email the Attorney General. I'm not sure if attorney generals are like a state thing. I don't know government like that. But I think it's a state thing. I guess the state attorney general. Okay, cool. So y'all can y'all can email him or her. I just said Cameron, so it could be a male or a female. Let me not be sexist. But so that was my blank while black. I just wanted to just talk about Breonna Taylor, because I know that she kind of not necessarily got forgotten, but I feel like when George Floyd died, and I also understand that it might not just be a patriarchy thing. It could be a fact that there was a video. I know videos are very galvanizing because it plays on the emotional parts of who we are. But I just know that it was very like George Floyd. Oh yeah, and that girl. Like no. George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. And like say her name, say his name. Like don't. Yeah. Here we go again. I need y'all to act like Black women matter. So that's my that is my blank while black and or slash.
That was my.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that was my reason for even saying trans names, because you can't. To me, it's like, even when you Black Lives Matter things, of course, we want all Black Lives Matter, but we want to be sure that we are just as hurt and angry and as loud and outspoken about our Breonna Taylors, about our Nina Pops, about our Tony McDades, as we are about Black men in general. It's like we are always LGBTQ women, always on front lines for Black men who are assaulted, murdered, their rights are challenged by our government, and we want that same respect from our cisgendered men as well. We want you to show up to rallies and things for us as well. We want y'all to not forget our names just because there wasn't a video tied to us. Yeah. We want y'all to not be the ones who rape and murder us when we're out here on the front lines. I forget the young woman's name. I believe she was African, but an activist coming back from a protest and was raped and killed by a Black man. And it was just like, y'all, we're literally out here for y'all getting maced in the face, getting beaten down. And yes, it's happening to all of us as Black people across the board, but understand that we deserve to have our names memorized and chanted as well. We deserve to be celebrated and loved and lifted up within the system as a whole. Yes, it's not even just about a quote-unquote George Floyd. It's about the numerous George Floyds that we don't see recorded, that don't go viral. Police kill about 1,000 unarmed Black people a year, and it's just like, well, how many of those names do we actually remember? Yes, we're not gonna be able to remember them all, but just consciously give effort and ask yourself why you don't know the names of some of the trans victims, and ask yourself why you don't know the names of some of the women. Kind of be self-condemning about it. Like, it's important to know like where our biases stand, whether they're implicit or explicit. Like, we need to know so that we can make ourselves better and we can get better as a people and as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Do you have a blank while black?
My blank while black, maybe it's different than how we usually do blank while black, but I wanted to talk about Bubba Wallace, who is the only driver for NASCAR right now, who is African American. After the death of George Floyd, he was kind of, like emotionally broken down like the rest of us. And he said that he wanted NASCAR to take down their Confederate flags because it makes people uncomfortable. And he said for a while, having been in the sport since he was about 9 years old of racing, and having been born and raised in Alabama, he's obviously very used to and maybe numb to seeing Confederate flags. And he said for a while it didn't bother him, but after, learning about himself, his history, how it affects other people, he said it's just time to make a change. It's time to be more inclusive and more unifying and not go out of your way to make other people uncomfortable. And he said some people are going to say, oh, it's about heritage. But for most people, they're going to see it as a sign of hate. Or for a lot of people, they're going to see it as a sign of hate. And of course, white people around the world are just enraged. Obviously, the only ones who drink, Busch Light and Mountain Dew at the same time, they're really pissed off about it. They want to be able to bring their Confederate racist flags to all the places. So what NASCAR said is that not only will they not, because I think NASCAR used to actually fly the Confederate flag, and so they were taking that down, but they also said that they are no longer allowing people to bring in their Confederate flags. That is a symbol of hate. So basically, if you have it on your hat, your shirt, your purse, and you're not allowed to bring it into the arena anymore, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't really know how it's going to be enforced, but I thought that was a really good thing. NASCAR commented that the presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors, and our industry. Bringing people together around a love for racing and community creates what makes our fans and sports special. The display of the Confederate flag will be prohibited from all NASCAR events and properties, which, again, I thought was really dope. There have only, to my research, there have only been about 7 African-American NASCAR drivers. And Bubba is the only one who is currently racing right now. He's racing under Richard Petty, I believe. That's who owns his team. But recently, after, coming out with all that, people are so mad. He debuted a Black Lives Matter racing car, to which white people were disgusted. One of the racers said he was quitting, and NASCAR said, girl, we don't even know who you are. You have never won a race. We don't care. Goodbye. So NASCAR has actually been doing the things, which is really funny. I was born and raised in Race City, USA, Mooresville. So racing was just something super normal, and all you see is Confederate flags every time you go to the drag strip or to the races or whatever. And it's you just kind of know when you go. It's like going to a rodeo or something. You just kind of know what to expect when you go there. Or think about Speed Street in Charlotte. At nighttime it was for black people, but during the day, it's all the rednecks out there or whatever. But I just thought it was pretty cool that NASCAR, out of all the sports in the world, with their one black athlete, has done more than the NFL has with their majority black athletes. It is just, it's amazing. Again, in the file of never thought I'd see the day. What the hell is this that NASCAR is doing more to at least pacify or protect the feelings of black people who may not be their biggest fans and their biggest source of income, which I think is the difference when you look at a lot of other companies who is well, you make a lot of money from black people. How much money does racing actually make from black people? I don't know if it's a lot or not. I know I'm from the South, and both my white and my black family is super country. I'm talking both sides, mudding, trucking, ATVing, paintball fights, all that kind of stuff, NASCAR, horse riding, rodeos. Both sides of my family are into all that, so I feel like my view may be a little skewed. But other than that, I don't know too many black people that watch racing as a whole. So I thought that was pretty cool that they kind of seem to be going out of their way. They had the so after this happened, one of his recent races, the past maybe 7 days, they found a noose, or what appeared to be a noose, in his garage, and his team went around and checked other racers' garages to see if that same rope was in there, because it was a pulley system for the garage door apparently, but his was the only one tied in the fashion of a noose. None of the other racers were. So, of course, they, took it upon themselves to report it as a hate crime, or what they thought to be a hate crime. And NASCAR got the FBI involved, who, I guess, looked at footage and et cetera, and decided that nobody put that there as a race crime. It had been there for a year, since October of last year or something like that. But I was like, the fact that they were so swift to call to action to protect this one athlete and show solidarity with him, you know, all the racers walking along his car, etc. I was like, where we have the whole NFL still saying, oh yeah, we're going to tweet Black Lives Matter, but it's still fuck y'all. Like, it don't make no sense. No sense at all.
But again, you know, it's crazy. I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and I was like, pending I have children, because, you know, I do change my mind like I change my clothes. But as of right now, of course, I don't want any. But I was like, I just would pray my son does not want to play football, like, at all, but especially like for the NFL, because I wouldn't want to deprive my child or anything, or say no to anything that is, of course, not quote unquote, well, you know what, that's interesting. I was gonna say that doesn't do harm, but it does do harm. So I guess in this case that doesn't matter. That ideology doesn't work. But I was gonna say, because I just would want to say no so bad, because of course there's the actual physical harm that it can do or does do to the body, right? But then there's also just something about my son playing for like a very racist institution. Like, you just cannot tell me that you're not a racist institution when there are no black owners at all. You know what I'm saying? To have all these black athletes and no black owners, it's just like, well, and you're not, I just can't believe that there aren't black people who've had interest in owning a team. I can't believe there aren't any that can afford one. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like,
I feel like for pacification purposes, they're probably in the next 2-3 years, they probably will appoint one just so people can't say that particular argument.
I don't believe it. I believe it when I see it. I don't trust them to do anything that big. Like, and it's crazy again, like, we got to think bigger. And I say that especially to myself, because not necessarily to say that I was impressed by the NFL coming out and saying whatever it said, but like, I was watching a conversation between Mark Lamont Hill and I forgot the guy that he was talking to on his IGTV live, but they were like, or his IG live, but they were basically like, you know, to us, like, saying that Black Lives Matter, or saying that you're in solidarity with us, or saying that, you know, you're for the black people, saying, because I think they pledged a certain amount of money, but they were like, nah, what that would really look like is black people owning teams. That would look like so much of each arena having so much like surface area space that is dedicated to black businesses inside the arena. That means like, it was a whole bunch of other things that they listed. And I was like, see, yeah, that's crazy. Like, again, like, I feel like I've in the past been impressed by, oh, they said they were going to give money, like, oh, cool, y'all gonna give 50 million to whatever it was. They said they were like going to give 50 million to Black Lives Matter specifically, and the guy was like, first of all, that's not even what y'all spend on snacks. So what is that? And then he was also like, but you know, then he said all those other things that I just listed, and I was like, yeah, like, we got to start thinking about people saying that they ride for us and with us, in the sense of creating income that is like, that's gonna keep on coming, not just here's $50 million, shut up. Like, nah, I have space inside the arena, so I'm gonna keep making money off the NFL. I own a team, so I'm gonna keep making money off the NFL, not just here's a lump sum of money, now quiet down, pipe down. So yeah, said it to say, you know, I'm not a fan of the NFL. I hope my son don't ask me to play in it. I don't want no parts. But I never did. I never watched it anyway. But then after Colin Kaepernick, I was like, man, I never plan to. So yeah, I just don't want no parts. So
NASCAR, the president also said that cameras will be added to the garages to make sure nothing like this happens in the future. And furthermore, NASCAR will require the members of the racing association to complete sensitivity and unconscious bias training, which I was like, damn, girl, we can't even get all police departments across America to commit to that. And here we are at NASCAR, where nobody has actually died as far as, you know, racist persecution. And yet they're already like, oh, no, we need to make sure this don't happen again. So cameras, training, all of these things will be happening expeditiously. And I was like, wow, just think about how trash our world is when the people with actual guns don't even have to go through these kinds of trainings. There are lots of, God, who's in charge of it? I forget. But like, basically the police chiefs who decide like what their training programs are going to be for different police departments and sheriff departments, you know, across, throughout your state and throughout the country. Like, not even all of them are on the same page of implicit bias training and racism and cultural training. Like, and we got the NASCAR after one, you know, incident. I can't even say one incident, because clear, like, since he said this, it has been all kinds of racist shit that he's had to experience. from Twitter, from Instagram, from just all over with people being racist and saying basically, fuck him, they hate him, they hope he dies, hope he crashes in an accident, etc. So I can't really say that the one incident, quote unquote, of the noose or the rope is the one thing that set them off, because it's probably been a whole lot. I don't know how long he's been racing NASCAR professionally exactly, but yeah, it is kind of crazy. But I was really pretty proud that Dale Earnhardt Jr. had him on his podcast, his racing podcast, and was basically like, no. There are a lot of people who are mad at me, and guess what? I don't care. Black Lives Matter, and I'm here to learn. I'm here to listen. I'm here to have a good heart. I'm here to listen to your struggle and not discount it because it's not something I don't experience. Like, I want you to talk to me and tell me about it and help me to understand you and help me to move forward in love and light. And he's like, we've been hearing and seeing so many awful comments. He's like, people are attacking me because I put Black Lives Matter and put a blackout on my Instagram. Like, people are mad at me for that, for saying that people's lives matter. He's like, and this is not the kind of world that I want my children to be brought up in. And I was like, wow, like, of all people, like, you got Dale Earnhardt Jr. over here with you on his podcast talking to his fellow whites. Like, listen, y'all, I know y'all like Mountain Dew, I know y'all like racing, I know y'all are ignorant and you like your flags, but y'all gotta change, y'all gotta do better. So that Black on Black, I guess, is a semi-light-hearted situation where it's like, well, we're seeing at least people standing up for him in solidarity, which is a good thing.
Yeah. That's dope. I'm glad to hear that. Is that all you have for Black on Black? I mean, Blank While Black? Golly.
Yes, Blank While Black is done. Sounds about white.
I actually have one.
Yes. I love when you have one. What happened, Sid?
I would like to dedicate my portion of this segment to KK Kathy. And white people's bad apologies. So,
oh God, they just get worse and worse.
Matter of fact, let me start to pull it up while I am giving y'all the good rundown. So,
yes, I can't wait.
The good sis, Kathy Jenkins, if you want to call her the good sis, was at a Black Lives Matter protest. Mm-hmm. Why? I am unsure. Like, I just see certain stuff and I'd be like, why did you come? But you could have stayed home. But racism, it gets the people going. Anyway. Kathy Jenkins came to a Black Lives Matter protest, and so she is featured in a viral video where she's like sitting on this truck, and the truck is covered with Confederate flags. And so they're recording her, and in the video you can hear her saying like, I will teach my grandkids to hate you all. Yep. And she's like, suck on this, and she like turns around and starts waving her Confederate flag. So basically, suck on this flag and y'all can go to hell, basically. And also she yells out KKK belief. And so for yelling out KKK belief at the people who were recording her, she got fired. And
you love to see it.
And so, as such, she issued this apology. As many of you know, I am Kathy. I just wanted...
That part, actually, it took me out.
I just wanted to start with saying that I am truly, deeply sorry for what I said.
Truly and deeply. Do y'all forgive her yet? Because I know I do.
This isn't who I am as a person, and I would like to stop there. Because I really hate when people give apologies for anything and say, this isn't who I am as a person. And one of my favorite examples of that, when it finally hit me, was when I was watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. As you know, I like to participate in the ratchet things. Mm-hmm. And Kirk, if y'all don't watch the show, Kirk is married to a woman on the show named Rashida. Rashida was a rapper back in the day. She owned several businesses. He cheated on her and got this young woman pregnant, like this 20-year-old girl or whatever, 20-something-year-old girl. And she goes later on in the season to meet Rashida. Her name was Jasmine, the side chick, the mistress, whatever you want to call her. And she's like, this isn't who I am as a person. And I was like, how dare you say that this isn't who you are as a person? Girl, no, this is you. You did it. Who else? It's like Bridesmaids when she said, no, it's not me. It's Mrs. Iglesias. Like, no, it's you. This is who you are. It's hard to admit it. It sucks. It doesn't sound good, but we're never going to get any better if we can't admit that when we've done something racist, when we've said something homophobic, when we said something transphobic. It sucks. But it's okay to, I don't want to say it's okay to be these things, but it's okay to admit it. So that way you can get better. Because just by saying, oh, that's not me, it's not who I am. Girl, you came out of your house, took your time out of your day in the middle of quarantine when you could have been doing anything else inside your house to come to a Black Lives Matter protest, to cover your truck with Confederate flags, which you knew what that was going to do to people. Then they start recording you, and you say out of your mouth, KKK belief. Nobody made you say it. Then she talking about, I was saying it to mock them. Girl, what? You was red in the face. You was saying that with anger. You was saying that with your chest.
With all of her soul.
So, say that to say, if you ever apologize to me and say, this is not who I am, girl, you can keep the rest of that apology. I don't want it.
Right.
This is who you are. And if you can't admit that you did, it's basically like you saying, I didn't do that. That wasn't me. That's what you just said.
No, it's not me. I'm not me.
No,
I saw this meme the other day that was like a cartoon with two people and a dog, and somebody walks up to the person and says, "Does he bite?" And the owner says, "No, but he can hurt you in other ways." And so the person looks at the dog, and the dog says, "The Confederacy only lasted 4 years. Obama was president twice as long as your heritage." And it just shows the cartoon crying. I was like, no, but seriously, I need to know where y'all get off with this heritage bullshit that literally lasted 4 years and you got your ass beat. Like, I need to know where y'all got this gangsta from, because
now that you say
we have already learned you're not that hard.
Right. And so the rest of her apology goes, I obviously cannot take back what I said. I can only learn from this. And see, the first thing you should have learned was to say that, yeah, I did that and it was wrong. And don't come crying now because you lost your job, because I don't want to hear it. I want to make it clear I am not teaching my children or my grandchildren to hate anyone. Then why did you say it, Karen? Or excuse me, why'd you say it, Kathy? Why'd you say it? She said, no one ever. I have always taught them to respect and love anyone no matter the race. I've always taught them to treat people with the same respect as they would want to be treated. My words and actions have been a learning experience. Not only did I learn from this, but I hope this message helps others that they cannot take back what they have said. Again,
you know what happened? She got millennial children, and they probably texted her like, "Excuse me, Mom, you cannot watch the kids anymore. They're not coming over." You're talking about teaching my kids to hate everybody. Bitch, have you lost your marbles?
Right. She said, again, I am so sorry because this is not who I am. So she said this is not who she is twice. Girl, this is who you... Well, why are you apologizing then? If this isn't who you are, because you didn't do it, basically, is what I'm hearing. I'm over this. I would never, ever want to see anyone hurt, and I don't care who they are. Okay.
Yeah. She's a stupid ass.
So all the white people listening, if there are any white people listening, if you ever do something racist or say something racist, for all of my non-white people listening, if my black people listening, if you ever do something racist or say something racist to challenge your definition of racism, according to Dr. Ibram Kendi, if you ever do something homophobic or transphobic or sexist, do not at any point in your apology say, this is not who I am. Because it is who you are.
Right. Obviously it is, girl.
But that's it. That's all I have for Sounds About White. And Sounds About White, white people are really bad at apologies.
What a stupid ass. No, they're pretty trash. They're pretty trash at them. Let's see. Mine in general was just all of the white people that have not learned their lesson as far as getting filmed being racist fucks. Like, some of them have learned. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. Most of them, are going on their tirades and start getting filmed and they continue to be crackheads. But then some of them, my goodness, the cup of piping hot white people tears just spilleth over. I mean, these people are screaming and hollering, "Oh God, stop filming me. I'm not a racist. You're trying to make me someone I'm not." And it's like, girl, you just called me a nigger, bruh. Like, I didn't make you a racist. I didn't make you call me that. Like, what is wrong with you? But one of my all-time favorite videos of, I don't know, I guess the past 3 days, considering we get a new video almost every single day. I know I have. I save them to watch them for whenever I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I need a little jolt of energy to keep the good fight going. Mm-hmm. So one of my most recent ones that I found was a woman in Sacramento in a 7-Eleven who, as the story goes, you don't really know exactly what happened because the person at the front desk that started filming, or the cashier that started filming after these two people were yelling at each other. But the video starts with a black woman yelling at a white woman saying, basically, I said, excuse me, like, what is your problem? Da-da-da. Like, I guess the black woman had to cross over in front of the white woman in one of the aisles or something. I'm not sure. And the white woman gave her attitude and then proceeded to call her a nigger. That's right, to this beautiful black woman's face, who said, oh, you got the right one today. She said, call me a nigger again. No. Call me a nigger again. I want to hear it. Call me a nigger again. Got in this lady's face. She said, okay, nigger. She got the fucking brakes beat out of her. It was so funny because then the customers who are witnessing it happen are just seeing this white woman get her ass beat and clearly can't defend herself because she's on the floor. And they're like, okay, let her go. Like, you proved your point. Let her go. She's like, no. She called me a nigger. She was so bold. She can handle this ass whooping. They're like, no, okay, let her go. Like, clearly they felt bad for her because of how bad she was getting her ass beat. But I'm like, honestly, truly, I stand a queen because it's like I say all the time. Like, a lot of times I can let a lot of things be like water on a duck's back, or I'll just bite my tongue because I don't like to fight every single battle. Mm-hmm. But a war will be fought over here on this side. And when I say I just can't picture myself being calm or being like, oh, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way and I will pray for you. I can't believe you called me that word, but God bless you anyway. I can't see it, girl. I'm going to have to beat your ass down in the 7-Eleven myself. But that video gave me life. It was a really good time. Maybe I'll post it on our page.
Yeah, I got a whole, Elise posted a whole thread of white people getting beat down because they called black people the N-word. It was young white boys. It was old white women.
It's just like, girl, like, have y'all not seen enough? I think what it is, you know, white people, they only be like on like these older generation white people. It's like they only be on maybe Facebook, but Facebook is the ghetto too, so I don't know. But it's like maybe they don't see when all of these white people are losing their jobs and getting filmed because, you know, they are in a whole different world of internet than we are. Maybe they don't see the repercussions of their ignorance. They only see the ignorant shit that each other posts and like, hell yeah, Robin, that's a great post. Fuck those black people rioting. Like, I think they don't see what actually happens when you do dumbass shit, especially the people you don't know. Like, girl, you better be glad all she did was box your ears a few times because she could have done more than that. Like, I don't know why y'all keep playing with people. Like, no matter what white people do, I'm not going to go out my way if they don't start with me to call them some racial slur and start yelling at them or thinking that I'm better than them or I deserve more space than they do in whatever restaurant or store I'm in. Like, I'm just not going to go out my way to be ignorant. Now, if you take me into another character, that's something else. But why y'all always start off with calling somebody the N-word is beyond me. Like, there was literally 3 other videos this week that I've seen. Well, today is Sunday. But yeah, this week that I've seen of people getting followed to their house, and then as soon as they get out their car, the black person is recording them like, so you passed me on the street back there and you called me a nigger? What was that all about? And they're like, oh God, no, oh God, no. This is her address. This is her license plate. Da-da-da. Oh God, no, that's not what happened. Oh, okay, because a few blocks back, that's what exactly happened. And now all of a sudden you scared, so.
That's because she's scared to lose her job. That's what it is.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, this one girl, she was like, she jumped in front of her license. And you can't lay down in front of a license. You can't stand up in front of it. So she's crouched behind her car trying to cover up her license, wailing. I mean, not crying, wailing to the point people are coming out because this is like an apartment complex. People are coming out on their deck looking like, oh my God, leave her alone. What are you doing? He's like, no. She flicked me off and called me the N-word, and she got mad because I followed her to her house thinking I wasn't gonna pull up. No, God, oh God, leave me alone, please. God, I have a black husband. Girl, well, I hope he boxes your ass in the ear, too. Your stupid ass.
Oh, God. You telling stories is the best thing ever. I have got to get my laptop.
I can see it now, like me going home like I'm a white woman talking about some, hey, babe, just so you know, I might be on the internet later because I know you're black, and I like you, and I like your cack. But I happened to call a lady that I stepped in front of at the grocery store a nigger, and now I'm recorded and I'm all over the internet. Like, what a dumb bitch. Can you imagine? Ugh.
Well, I can't wait to get my computer so I can edit your voice over the video because nothing has ever brought me more joy in my lifetime than listening to you talk over those news clips of that pig in that plane.
That flying. What? Oh, that was Flying Pony?
Flying Pony, my bad. I said pig, I'm sorry.
Flying you know
farm
what?
animal.
I should do them videos where them people, they watch, like hairstylists, they watch people get their hair done or something. Or what's that black lady on YouTube? She just like, she posts people's videos in the corner of her shit, and she just be like, what the hell is going on here? That would definitely be me, because I be all of confusion, because I don't understand what the hell y'all got going through y'all brains when y'all think it's okay to just call people the N-words and expect it not to get boxed in the ears.
No, you definitely need to put that on your YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious, because that would
you
be
know I'm not good
iconic.
at the technological things, but
I gotta when I get my computer built. Golly, I have so many things to do in so little time. When I get my computer built, we gonna be on it.
Okay, built money.
Things.
Cindy got money.
Oh no, it's not. Actually, I was trying to save money. Apparently, it's cheaper to build a computer than it is to buy. Kind of like anything else. Like it's cheaper to make. Well, I was gonna say it's cheaper to make clothes, but that doesn't seem to be true so far. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, y'all, it's not really important or relevant, and it has nothing great on it. But I made a Twitter, so I'm in those ghetto streets again.
Why do you have a Twitter? Are you bored?
Obviously I'm bored. I have nothing to do, Sydney. No, I just kind of got tired of all the things. People would send me things that, you know, it would lead you to the Twitter site, but I'm like, damn, I want to read this thread. Like, I want to read what the shenanigans that people are saying, and obviously I couldn't do it because I didn't have a Twitter.
You know, you could have used our living room Twitter, right?
Oh, that's true. Well, I made one, and I didn't realize that when you make one, if you tie it to your phone number or your email, it'll send your contacts. It'll send a message to your contact saying, hey, your contact at Aisha has made a Twitter. Girl, why would you do that? I didn't tell you to do that. Why would you do that? So now a couple people have found me, but I haven't even followed. I followed like 3 pages, and it was like the EJI, and I don't even know who else. It was literally like nobody. But if you want to follow me and see, so far nothing that I've said, but I'm sure I'll get into the mess eventually. It is at Queen Molly Mall. If you're into the shits.
Oh
but my next,
of course, that's your Twitter name.
well, you know what?
Ghetto.
I didn't want to put it as Aisha the Molly because I don't know how ignorant I'm gonna get up on there.
Either way, people gonna be able to find it.
I know, but I'm just saying. But my next sounds about white is y'all's president with his bitch ass. Literally
Wait, I'm
today.
sorry, what?
Yeah, y'all's president, not me and you, Sydney. Somebody else's president. It's not our president. Tweeted a video of some Trump supporters rolling by on like golf carts or some shit, yelling "White Power, yeah, Trump 2020." I don't know why I gave him that last ad lib, but he tweeted. Y'all's president tweeted a video where his supporters are yelling "White Power," but then deleted the tweet 3 hours later. And I was like, I just want to know what they said to him to get him to delete the tweet, because y'all know he don't listen to nobody. So I want to know who got him to take that shit down. So my next sounds about white is my neighbor, y'all, over here in California. So this neighbor, since I moved in, has always been super friendly, super nice. I'll run outside every day, so she'll always like wave at me as I go by or stop me to talk to me about nothing. And this neighbor texted me on June 2nd. Now, this is after the riots erupted after George Floyd was murdered. Was that the May 25th or 6th? I think the 26th. But after all the riots were erupting everywhere, they were erupting in our town as well, all over LA. Beverly took it upon herself to text me and say, "Good morning, Aisha," with an exclamation point. And said, "How are you guys doing? How is your family?" Now, you know, before you open a text, you can only see part of it. So that's all I could see before I open a text. When I opened it, the rest of it said, "I know your brother is a police officer. We are praying for him. Please let me know if there is anything you need." Now, for a little bit of backdrop, people, this woman is married. She's a white woman married to a Mexican man and has 3 Mexican/white children. So when she texted me this, mind you, myself, Sydney, a lot of us in general are just now getting to a point where we feel like even having kind of conversations because we've been so emotionally drained and just drained in general. So, you know, when I'm thinking about the fact that my family, a lot of my friends, white and otherwise, haven't reached out to say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like, you know, seeing videos of people that look like you being murdered in HD every day. I just want to see how you're doing, check on your mental. Nobody had checked on me. So when I first saw her text and said, you know, "Good morning, how you doing, how your family?" I was like, oh my God, that was so thoughtful. And then to open it and see that she said, "We're praying for your brother who's a police officer," I was just like, girl, what? That would be equivalent to me texting your husband and saying, hey, I see all the little Mexican kids in dog cages. Just want to let you know that I'm praying for the ICE officers. Like, how stupid do you sound? Like, I just don't. I know that everybody doesn't, quote unquote, mean harm, but it's just like, girl, you went out your way to text me and tell me that you're praying for a police officer who only has to be one for 40 hours every week, but has to be black 24/7. Like, he's more likely to die not in uniform than in uniform, if we're being realistic. So I just wanted to, I guess, say that just watch people, because they're going to show you who they are. And if they are teachable moments, and take the opportunity to teach if you have it within you. But also, as I tell black people all the time, it is not our job to train these people. They have access to books and have had access to books far longer than we have. So they are choosing ignorance. So I don't know. There are plenty of websites you can go to, and black-owned bookstores. Matter of fact, I can shout that out real quick. Like Uncle Bobby's bookstore.com or mahoganybooks.com. And find book lists that literally say how to be an ally 101. And it's a list of books that you can buy if you want to be an ally, like how to be an anti-racist and white fragility and all of those types of books that can help you get a better understanding if you actually want one. Because the fact of the matter is, most of y'all don't want an understanding. Y'all want to sit there in your ignorance and enjoy your privilege and ignore everybody else's struggles. And guess what, girl? Your time's up. Your time is up.
Absolutely. Woo, yes, ma'am. The people will show you who they are. I had a friend tell me a similar story like that. Like, just thought this person was, like, you know, cool. And then I think it was a white girl. He found out she was a Trump supporter. And he was like, you just don't be know until you know. And I was like, yeah. It'd be like that sometimes. It is very disappointing.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, done with that. Sexpectations. Cindy, what kind of sexpectations are you having these days?
I have one, but I feel like it's a serious one. Do you have like a more like funny one? Excuse me.
Wow, I wrote down like, shorthand notes, and I don't even know what the fuck I was trying to say in this one. I guess no, I don't think I really have a lighthearted one. So go ahead. What do you got? I don't know.
I want to know how we create men who care about black women. Because they come from us. They come from us. And I know everybody's upbringing. That's what I was saying. It's pretty serious, pretty deep.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I know everybody's upbringing is different, but like, for instance, myself personally, and of course I also understand I'm not a black man, but said it to say, I was mostly raised by my mother. Although I lived in the house of both my mother and my father was like the breadwinner, I guess you could say. Like, or let me not say that. He was the one, he just worked all the time, it felt like. And so my mother was the one that would like pick me up from school and take me to school and make sure I had what I needed for school and took me shopping for school and that kind of stuff. My dad was more like to throw money at a child and let them be great. And my mother was like, okay, let's actually go do something. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder, basically me and Khalil were talking and we were trying to figure out like what the difference is between Mark Lamont Hill and T.I. or what the difference is between Kendrick Sampson and T.I. because you can go on both of those two men's page, Kendrick Sampson or Mark Lamont Hill, and they talk about black women's lives mattering and trans lives mattering, and they when they talk about who their intellectual heroes are, Mark Lamont Hill will literally list off women. He'll say Angela Davis, and I've heard Kendrick say Ida B. Wells is our freedom fighting hero and stuff like that. And so I wonder what it is that makes like what the difference is in maybe their upbringing or maybe the books they've read or maybe their experiences that will make a man turn out to be like T.I. and what the difference is between a man who turns out to be Mark Lamont Hill. So I know for me, a lot of what I think a lot of it has to do with education. I feel like if our education had, if we learned about all of the people of color, that be Black people, Asian people, indigenous people. We learn about LGBTQ people, then you have more respect for them because you understand how much they contributed to our society, right? When I was had the opportunity to be on Jessica's Black women's,
I was gonna talk about that.
What's the word I'm looking? From the Mouths of Black Women, her series. I talked about the fact that that the March on Washington was organized by a gay Black man, but that, you know, he stepped away from the spotlight because he knew his gayness may either be a problem or just be more inflated than the actual work that was being done. Same thing with, you know, the March on Washington. Like not the March on Washington, the bus boycott in Montgomery. I think people think that Martin Luther King started that, but really it was a Black woman named Joanne Robinson, right? And I think that when we do learn about Black history, or when we learn history in general, it's very patriarchal. So I think also having women's studies classes, I think that for me, where me and Carter G. Woodson deviate is that he wanted Black studies, and he might have different opinions now. Of course, he lived in a different time. But he wanted Black studies to kind of be integrated into U.S. studies, right? And I understand that idea. Like, we just want to be American. We just want to be human. But for me, I think that we need independent classes because I think it's already hard enough to get through all of the things that teachers want to get through in general with the time frame they have. But I also think that it's important to say, like, nah. This is Black studies. That's what we're going to talk about here. This is women's studies. That's what we're going to talk about here. This is LGBTQ studies. That's what we're going to talk about here. So I think education is very important, but I also think that, again, I think that it probably has to do with the kind of upbringing that you had and whether your father was present, or even if he was present, how you treated your mother. And I think it has to do with the people that you're friends with too, right? And the kind of things that they tell you, because it's just very hard for me to believe that Black women raise men like T.I. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like T.I. is a product of his friends, but I'm also like, but they still have Black mamas, unless they don't have Black mamas, like their moms weren't present. So I just wonder what it is. And I know it's multifaceted, but yeah, I just wanted to know what your opinion was on it, because me and Kalia were talking and she was saying that there was a protest for Black men and everybody showed up. But when there was a protest for Black women, nobody showed up. I think it was either organized by Black women. So one of them was organized by Black men, the other one was organized by Black women, and nobody other than women showed up at the one for Black women. And I was like, yeah, it's obvious that we are good enough to have sex with, but we're clearly not good enough for you to fight for us in the streets when we're killed by police. And I want to know how we change that. And we were talking, and I was like, maybe it's the same thing with like racism. Like, maybe we're going to have to stop showing up for y'all. And I would hate for that to be what we have to do, but we can't continue to not have Breonna Taylor's name be just as important as George Floyd. Or trans lives either, because again, to me, same thing with racism being a life or death situation. I think that patriarchy and sexism and chauvinism is also life or death for Black women, right? Like, same thing with the activist that you brought up earlier was you know, sexually assaulted and killed by a Black man. So I just want to know, like, what your thoughts were. I'm not gonna say anything else. I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on that.
You know, in an ideal situation of two parents, of two people who raise, maybe male and female, to contribute to how you raise your sons. Or, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to, you know, be mom and dad. You know, it could be dad and dad, mom and mom, whatever your situation is. But you have to be, I feel like, raised by two people who see the value in each other and in men and women alike. I don't know the situations of, you know, I don't know how Mark Lamont Hill's upbringing has shaped him in a certain way. He and T.I., for all I know, could have been raised the exact same way. You know what I mean? Like, in the same hood and the same education, but they came out to be completely different people. Like, we know experiences affect people differently, and they cause different reactions for different people. But I think it starts within, like, hearing maybe the adults in your life, whether that's your teachers, your parents, your grandparents, your church, your school, wherever you are on you know, in consistent basis, is that you're surrounded by people who are, I guess, positively like-minded, as far as, you know, I I struggle even with seeing other people and their decisions of who they've, created life with. I'd be like, oh my God, your man just said whatever sexist thing. Like, I cannot believe you chose to have a child with this person. Like, I don't understand those things, because I think that I'm just super protective over children, and the fact that they're so like malleable as far as, the things that they hear and the information they take in. And I just can't have my kid, being babysat by their father who says racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic things. And it's just like, well, I don't want you teaching my kid that. And I know that I can't counteract every single thing that you teach them. At the end of the day, both of the things that we say are going to be penetrating, like, our child's mind, and our child is going to make up what they decide they agree with and they lean on. And, I can encourage my kid to read these books, but if they hear their father saying something contradicting, like, I can't really help that. Like, I'm only using like father and mother example because I'm trying to understand how men shape their thinking about women. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I think those are questions that I feel like, stop asking your significant other what their favorite meal is and their favorite color is. Like, stop asking them just superficial, dumbass, non-important things. Like, I don't care if you teach my kids to have a favorite color of yellow or green or gray. Like, I care about what you teach my children about how to treat women and how to treat people who have different religious beliefs than you, and how you treat people who have different sexual orientations than you. Those are the things that I want instilled in my children, so that they can be good people. Because all that other superficial stuff is not relevant. I don't care what your favorite thing to eat is. I don't care who your favorite designer is. I don't care about any of those things. Those things aren't relevant to how I would want my child to be brought up and what I would want them to learn. So that's a really good question, because, I mean, for all I know, they both grew up in, single mom households in the hood. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they were brought up as far as how that affected them, but I mean, we see it all the time where people grow up in the same household and turn out to just be completely different people. Like, everything is going to affect you in a completely different way than the next person. So, I don't know. We need maybe to find us a nice woke queen, a nice woke king, that is, and maybe feature him on the pod, or ask him maybe a question just for our page and our listeners to hear. Maybe see how he thinks that he was shaped in the way that he is. So, I don't know. Maybe Mark Lamont Hill will come on our pod with us.
Yeah, next time he does a Q&A, I think I'm going to try to find a way to word that question to be like, hey, how did you turn out like this?
Say,
like, why?
Hey, how are you not like T.I. checking your daughter's hymen?
Right.
Me, I want to know.
Right. Like, same thing with, who was, I mean, I feel like there were men. Were there even men that came out and that were outraged about that? Like, to the extent that I felt like black women were outraged about that, because I also understand that a lot of my followers and a lot of people that I follow are women, because I'm a black woman. You know what I'm saying? We look for ourselves. But say that to say, like, I know that black women were outraged because, I have you as a friend and I have Kalia as a friend, and I remember seeing Breonna talking about it, like, because T.I. just got hired to do a class at Clark Atlanta to teach a hip-hop class, I think, and Breonna Horton, that we went to ECU with, had like posted, I hope they drag his ass on the first day of class or something like that. So I'm like, I can see the anger in black women, but where is that anger from black men? Same thing with like all the black men and women apparently too that were dragging were dragging Gail when she asked about Kobe Bryant and that whole situation, but where was that energy when Boosie said that he was molesting his children? So yeah, I just wonder how to create more men, because I want to believe that there are as many of the Mark Lamont Hills and Kendrick Sampsons as there are TIs, but it just feels like there aren't, because we don't see this outrage from black men about the same situations that we are outraged about when it comes to black women and how they're treated, how their bodies are policed and being called hoes and bitches and all that stuff. So yeah, I was just wondering, but yeah, and I also think too, just to add one more point, I think it also has to do with making black boys deny their femininity. I think that men and women, all people on this earth, have certain amounts of femininity and masculinity. Now, of course, there might be men who are just more masculine. You just might be 95% masculine and 5% feminine. And there are men who are vice versa. They're 95% feminine and 5% masculine. But I think that it's there. And I think that when we teach boys, don't cry, don't show emotion, don't get up, rub some dirt in it. I think when we teach them that, we're making them deny the feminine parts of who they are. And I think that what if that were to breed envy and hatred towards women because women are the epitome of femininity. And if I've taught you to hate this within yourself, maybe you project that hate onto onto women because they are and they get to be emotional, right? Like, so that was something else that I have been thinking about too, that might have something to do with how men treat women. But yeah, like I said, I know it's definitely multifaceted, but I just feel like there has to be a way that our society could shape us to be more loving and caring and inclusive human beings. Yeah. Same thing with me and you though, because I mean, again, we were just talking about that girl on Instagram that posted that transphobic ass thing on her page. Like, what made us like this and made her like that? My skin was
burning. Ugh.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's not just, of course, let me not say it's not just black men who can quote unquote have these negative traits if you believe them to be so. But yeah, even that, like, what makes me like, girl, what the fuck is this? Or what makes her like, girl, this is what I said it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes us like that? What makes us go, oh, trans lives matter, but then other people going, y'all out here trying to make trans lives matter and y'all trying to co-opt the movement, and it's like, girl, what? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just wonder.
Wonder. I mean, I think as far as what you and I and other maybe women and men listening to this podcast is be willing to listen to each other and be willing to correct each other in love and light, and that doesn't mean yelling, hey, you're misogynistic little fuck face and niggas ain't shit. Like, our job is to love each other, and I think so. This kind of might get us into the song of J. Cole, but I think in some way I get the idea of saying you almost have to spoon feed some people. Like, how do I tell a man who's raised by maybe the streets or maybe by a quote unquote tougher heart family or broken family, so to speak? It's like, how do I get him to not be homophobic if that's what he's been taught all his life? Do I go in and demand that he's not and demand that he stops being ignorant? Is that going to help him? Or do I don't know, gently try to teach him? I feel like I'm more apt to be gentle with our people than I am with racists, if that makes sense. Like, I'm more apt to spoon feed my people than I am racist. And it's like, I understand that maybe a lot of white people don't read, certain books. But I understand more why black people don't, because you have taught us a shame about education, about learning our whole lives. And then you put us in unfortunate situations of housing and jobs and education, and then wait till we're adults to say, well, why the fuck you didn't read? You've had access to books this whole time. It's like, well, you've also built a shame around these books this whole time. So for me, I guess I'm more willing to have those conversations. Like, when I hear men say like crazy ass shit, like, I'm willing to be like, excuse me, what did you mean by that? Okay, so you hate your mother. Can we have a conversation? Like, can we talk about this? Like, why did you just make a comment about a dark-skinned woman? Or why did you just, make fun of a trans person? Or why, when I told you the story of a trans person being put alive, being put in a trash can by like 4 or 5 guys, and then recorded while they're laughing, like, why does that story not move you? Because it moved me almost to tears. Like, me watching that video, I'm about to cry because I'm just so heartbroken. I'm like, what if that was my son? Or what if that was my daughter? Like, because you don't like the way that my child is dressed, you think you can put a human being in a trash can and film and laugh at them while they're crying in pain and in embarrassment and shame? Like, I don't understand how people cannot have, I guess, empathy. And I think that's why maybe sometimes I can be maybe even more gentle, because I'm like, no, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, you're going to have to explain to me why you ain't shit, because I don't get it. And I want to know. I want to know what makes you so hardened and what, makes you want to call people names. Like, it's like we read all the time that people always want somebody to feel superior to. And that's really what it is. It's like, well, white people make us feel small, so let me find a way to marginalize queer people or whatever, even if there are black queer people. Like, girl, like, you can be black and queer. That's a real thing. Like, to try to separate the two of, I'm going to be mean to gay people. Like, okay, but aren't they still black? What is wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, and we definitely
I don't know, but that's a good question. I would love to invite somebody on the show maybe to ask them that question and ask them maybe their take on it. That would be really interesting. I don't know too many kings of that thought process, though. So, unfortunately, I think most of the people I know are works in progresses.
Absolutely. All right. Well, what was your expectation question?
I was just going to ask, we've talked about this, but not on the show. And that was, would you date somebody of a different religious belief than you or spiritual belief than you?
I've never done it. But don't believe in knocking things until you try them. It seems, I feel like when you're just not chauvinistic in your beliefs, then anything is possible to be, to create an amicable situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you're not like, let's say I'm Muslim and you're, because honestly, I feel like I have friends and we have different religious beliefs and we're still good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I mean,
that's fair. That's a good point.
So, I feel like I'm friends with people who are like, they believe themselves to be Christian, and that's wonderful. You know, and I'm like, oh yeah, do your thing. But again, as long as you ain't coming over here trying to tell me that what I believe in ain't right, or you got the right God and I got the wrong God, and I'm going to hell, and da 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 da. As long as you ain't old buddy from ECU, whatever his name was,
Brother Ross.
Yes, as long as you ain't like that, I think we'll be good. So I personally think I would be down to try it again if it becomes something where you're trying to make me be something that I just can't, I don't feel, then it wouldn't work out. But as long as you know you're doing your thing and you're happy and I'm happy, then we're good. What about you?
Oof. I don't know, because I don't really like religious people. If we're being honest, I don't. I can be cool with people, but I think that's because I think it's easier to be friends with people than it is to date people. I'm much more particular in my relationship than I am my friendships. Wait,
you're more particular about your relationships than your friends?
Yeah, as far as beliefs, because I don't have to go home and listen to my friends' beliefs every day.
Okay.
Or like if I have friends who are, super Christians and they just never commit any sins ever, and I just always do. Like, I think, yeah, like kind of what you said. Like, if you're not trying to shove your beliefs down my throat, of course that would be fine. But I don't need for somebody to be like, well, the Bible says your skirt should be this long and you shouldn't have any tattoos, and you already have tattoos, so it looks like you're going to hell. It's just like, okay, girl, I don't care to hear this every day. So I don't know. I think it would be easy for me, being that I have an open mind to so much, to say, oh no, I wouldn't really care. But I think realistically, I just don't think it would work out. It would just be like, everything has to be an argument with you because you just think that your belief is the only belief there is in the world, and you're trying to shove it down my throat. And I just feel like the patriarchy, the whitewashing, all of these things of many religions, not just Christianity, it's just too much for me. It's just like, I'm good on it. But again, I mean, that has to do with the way I was raised and my experiences of Christianity. I mean, I was in the church 3 days a week, at minimum, and I wasn't allowed to miss a Sunday, even if I was throwing up. It was like, well, girl, the church got a bathroom, so you good. We still going. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe my experiences with religion and with religious quote unquote people have never been good ones. And so I just try to focus on what real love is, and what being accepting and loving of all people of all different shapes, sizes, and beliefs is. And I can still love you and I can still accept you as a friend. I just don't think that I would want to date somebody with a totally different belief as far as being a super religious person or something. I think that would just drive me nuts.
I feel that. Well, all right. Is that it for sex expectations?
That's it for sex expectations.
All right. What is the mental health check-in?
No, girl. What's next, Sydney?
We just did sex expectations. It's not affirmation.
Black on black support.
Oh, damn. Damn it.
Sydney don't know the show, y'all. It's fine. We ain't been here in a while. It's fine. Okay. I wanted to say, because we forgot the last episode and now it's been 8 years since our last episode. But anyway, Psalms graduated from UNC Chapel Hill.
Oh, the beautiful Psalms.
The beautiful Psalms with her beautiful self. Congratulations.
But she's also, as they said in Book Smart, but you're also courageous and smart.
She is literally everything. And literally when we left the last podcast, we were like, damn, we were talking about graduates and we didn't specifically say Psalms, because Psalms is a shit. And watching her journey has been amazing. And her Instagram is pure entertainment and enlightenment and educational and informational and revolutionary and a little hotation in there, and it's all a good time, honestly. I love it all. I stand a multifaceted queen.
Yes, as do I. Yes, shout out to Psalms for being the shit, for being beautiful. I have seen her at the protests. I have seen her leading the things. I was like, yes, ma'am. And I remember we had a conversation, and it looks like she's still in the same way that she was then. It's been some years now, and I understand that people grow and change, but at that time, she was saying that she wanted to be an activist, so I'm very proud of her for making those strides if that's still her goal, because clearly she's out here doing the things. So yeah, shout out to her for graduating. That is also an amazing accomplishment. I wish you the best luck in whatever your next steps are in this life's journey. And I'm gonna stop interrupting your Black on Black support now.
No, that's fine. Shout out to Psalms. I also want to say Beyonce is releasing Black is King, and I was shook and balded by the trailer. It sounds like the short film. So she wrote, directed, produced a short film for Disney called Black is King. And it is about, it kind of sounds like it's just Lion King, honestly. But she's basically talking about a young man who is going through the trials and tribulations of life. And he's finding his voice in love and in betrayal. Just having experiences as a Black person. I mean, like kind of just the things that all Black people do. But it's just like a look at the regal power and resilience of Black people. And, you know, Beyonce is the queen of visuals. So I can't wait. I'm really excited to see it. Yeah, I'm just really excited. If you saw the trailer, you probably also bawled with me. She put out a song called Black Parade on Juneteenth, and also put together like a really dope playlist of Black music for Juneteenth, which I would just rock to for literally 4 or 5 days straight, because I just couldn't get enough of it. It was such a good time, and it was so well put together from all different artists of all different decades and eras, but it was a good time. But yeah, shout out to Beyonce, my queen, Black on Black support. I love you. I am so grateful to have the eyeballs to see your works, queen. I'm gonna bounce back to you in just a second because I have a few more to list, but I just want to say real quick that I also added a highlight, my first highlight ever, to Instagram of Black-owned businesses. I realized, obviously when I put them in my story, then, they disappear so you can't see them. So now if you go to my page at Aisha Damali, there is one single highlight. And if you click on the highlight, you can go through Black business posts. And a lot of them, as far as them being posts, you can click on them and read or go through their thread or look at their comments and find even more Black-owned businesses. But literally, I found wineries, I found clothing brands, candles, hair products, hotels, toothbrushes, girl, luxury brands. Shout out to Master P for releasing his own rice and like ramen noodle brand.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, just all kinds of cool things. Boxers, Black-owned boxers. My cousin is featured up there with her boutiques that she has for her children's line and her adult line. My friend Vegan Brie, who has household like home goods, which if y'all know me, y'all know I stan a TJ Maxx, etc. So finding a kind of a Black owned and a Black catered kind of vibe is a really exciting thing for me. But yeah, go on my highlight, check it out. There's literally Black owned wine glasses that are so fucking stunning, but a set of 4 is like $175. So if you a rich bitch, you definitely need to hop on it because they are so stunning. I want them all. But yeah, there's lots of things on there, so check that out on my Black-owned business highlight on my Instagram. I'm going to switch to you, Sid, and then I got a couple more things. Go ahead.
Okay, I just had 3.
Okay.
First, I would like to shout out to Lewis O'Neill Interiors. Based right here in the good old Charlotte, North Carolina. My best friend from back in that day from high school. His name
is that the Instagram?
Yeah, that's the Instagram. He has started an interior design company. He basically his goal is to help people with their, how their homes look, creating a look for their homes, but for any budget. So you can go to Lewis O'Neill Interiors. That is the @name. That is the IG page. And he has set up like virtual calls because, people are out here still doing the work in the middle of the pandemic. Okay. And it's like a session where he can get to know you, get to know what you want for your home. So check him out, and that is by Lewis O'Neill. That's his personal Instagram page.
Because I stan home decor. So shout out to you, Mr. Lewis O'Neill.
Oh, yeah, and a good time. The homes he's done so far have been lit. So Yeah,
Oh,
check that out,
yes.
y'all. Secondly, Will Fox from ECU. First of all, what an amazing name. I always loved his name. Has started a CMOS distribution business. It is
Oh, you know
sourced-
what? I think I saw that.
I
Go
posted
ahead,
on my
Will.
story. Yep. He it is sourced directly from Jamaica, so he is distributing both purple and gold CMOS. Just for those of y'all who don't know a little bit about CMOS, it has 92 of the 102 minerals that your body needs. It is good for everything. I've heard people say that it's good for hair growth. I heard it gives people energy. You can go to his page. He has like more details about like what CMOS does and its benefits for you. But I just wrote down like those few things, like where it was sourced from and all that. So his Instagram is Team Fox. That's 2 X's _ health _ wellness. That is his business page. So check that out.
Nice.
And lastly, I just wanted to shout out Enoch, whose Instagram page is STCYR _ LAMOTTE. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think I don't know. So, but follow that page. He is out here modeling, okay, doing the things. All the shoots I have seen thus far have been quite wonderful. You know, nothing better than a brown-skinned black man in flowers. You know, when they have the flowers in the hair and the beards and the things.
And the beard.
And you know, he already had done the fitness competitions. I don't know if he did. I'm not good with knowing like physique versus bodybuilding versus other things, but he did one of those competitions. I say the man is in great shape, as y'all know from if you have been listening from episode 1. He is the original well-groomed man of my life, so he looks great. He looks great on camera. Okay, so go check that out one more time. His IG page is my phone closed. Sorry about that, guys. My phone locked. His IG page is STCYR _ LAMOTTE. If you would like to be out here supporting our black male models. So yes, you can as this black on black support goes, you could be out here supporting the black male models, the black male health gurus out here giving y'all the good CMOS, trying to get y'all right, and y'all can get y'all home decorated by a black man. So y'all go ahead and be great.
I added some of those to my black owned highlight reel, so that's dope. Thank you, Sydney, for that.
No problem.
Okay. I have 2 more things to talk about, and the first highlight is going to go to my good sis, who, thank God, has changed her Instagram name to Kalia Michelle.
You didn't like 1L Michelle?
No, I hated it. And I still hate her Abby picture because I'm like, listen to my queen. She's so intelligent and she does X, Y, and Z and cultural injustice, environment. And then I go to show them her page. And I'm like, just ignore this picture. I think it's from 11th grade.
She said she refuses to change that picture.
I didn't know she was going to change her name, but shout out to you, queen, for being on the professional tip. But she has started a Zoom call. I believe it's every Thursday. Is that right now?
Yep.
Okay. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, she has a call called Let's Breathe Together. It is a Black-only space to collectively process the current events stirring in our spirits. I have only had the privilege of being on one call so far, but I wanted to say that, y'all, it is a feel-good time. It feels really good to be in a space where you know you don't have to worry about white allies who still just don't quite get it. Like, you get to just be yourself and talk about your feelings, experiences that are going on, and just a free, safe place to be. And it's not for anybody to really even give you advice to move on. It's literally just a place you can vent and breathe because, as we all know, this past month has just been a doozy. Actually, past couple months have just been a doozy. So shout out to Kalia and Khadijah Grant for putting that together. You can go to her Instagram, Kalia Michelle, and she has in her bio the Eventbrite to get on the Let's Breathe Together Zoom call. So that is a really dope thing. And then I wanted to shout out Jessica Haynes, who has started a live every Thursday for from the mouths of Black women, The first episode was History and Media, which featured my very best friend at Sid the Great to give us the history from the mouths of Black women. And it was a really dope call. I was all up in the live. with my ignorant shenanigans, but it was a good time. I think her next episode is
Public Health, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Public Health, June 30th. That's Tuesday. The next one will be July 9th, July 16th, July 23rd, July 30th. But the first one was History and Media, then Public Health, then Consent and LGBTQ, which, wow, that's probably going to be a really good one. Then Mental Health, then Education and Freedom. So that is beyond exciting. Shout out to Jessica Haynes. She is on Instagram at Jessica, that's JUSSICA, Haynes, HAYNES. If you want to see the times and the dates of her lives and who is going to be featured. Also, she put on her IGTV the episode from the lives with Sydney and, I forgot how she pronounced the other girl's name. Ajane, okay. But her name is Lots of Sass Blog. But yes, she has the IGTV of that episode with those two queens. So I'm really excited that you guys can go back and watch, even if you didn't get to be a part of the live. That's pretty dope. So from the mouths of Black women and Let's Breathe Together, those are pretty cool events that you guys can start participating in from here on out if you want a safe place for your beautiful Black soul to breathe and to hear Blackness and be engulfed in the love of our people. So that is it for my Black on Black support.
All right. Now mental health check-in.
Yes.
All righty. Okay. Mine is a recommendation to you all.
Ooh, okay.
I recommend you all begin. I think I said this before, but I actually looked up the benefits of journaling, but not just journaling, but journaling daily. Mm-hmm. And it was saying that it can increase your gratitude. So I just wanted to start there. Like, I just feel like, and of course, I'm thankful to not be suffering from mental health issues. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much, and I know everybody is also different, so I don't know how much it would help everyone. But to me, anything that like, and it's also good to start your day with it. So to me, to start my day with gratitude, especially right now in a time where Black people are being killed, which they've always been killed, of course, but it's just so visible. In a time where Black people are being brutalized by police, in a time where we're dying more rapidly from COVID-19, in a time where we are all dealing with a pandemic, dealing with unemployment, and dealing with being trapped in the house. I think to start your day with what you're grateful for. So when I do journal, I've been trying to make it a daily habit, but when I do start my day with journaling, that is the first thing I write out is what I'm grateful for. So, like, you know, I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. Like, that alone is just, it sets like a mood for the rest of my day. And my days have all the days that I can remember journaling when I first read this article, which was sometime since we've been in quarantine. It could have been like, at this point, I don't know time, so I don't know if it was last week or last month, but yeah. Whenever I did read it, I just know that the days that I got up and started journaling, those were really, really good days. They were very, very productive days. Like, you can set your intention for the day. You can write out your goals for the day. But some other things it does is that it helps you heal from your relationships, and this is just journaling in general. It can help you heal from the past. It helps you to, it can record the history of your life. I thought that was really, really cool because I keep hoping that I'm going to be famous. So one day when people read my journals, they'll turn it into a book like they did Bruce Lee. Let's see. As they say in general, by starting your day with gratitude, of course, you increase your gratitude. So, you know, can't beat that. It helps you with learning. You know, I also can't beat that with all the books that I've been reading about. It says it helps you to clear your emotions. It can increase focus. It can give you greater stability. It can help you with your scattered thoughts. It can empower you. It can help you release pent-up thoughts and emotions. And I think, when I think about the fact that they say that Black people, our lifespan, you know, on average is shorter than white people, I've often thought about, so before I say what I've thought about, I remember hearing Dave Chappelle, if y'all didn't watch his 816, I think it was the name of his newest special that he did. It was a 30-minute special, and he named it that because that was how long they kneeled on George Floyd's neck. But at one point or another in the special, he said that anybody who survives this goddamn nightmare is my hero. And it made me think about what surviving looks like. Like, when I think about people in the civil rights movement, and they were talking about how many people during the civil rights movement had different health issues. They had stomach ulcers from the stress. When I look at John Lewis, who was very, very active during the civil rights movement, he was there on Bloody Sunday. He got bashed up, beat up, right? I think he was there during the Freedom Rides too. I think he got beat up there too, but he is now fighting cancer. And I wonder how much that has to do with the things that he's had to deal with from a standpoint of stress. And so I wonder how much of our aging and how much of our lifespan is shortened by us not being able to get out those pent up emotions. When I think about Black people,
telomeres.
Yeah, when I think about Black people having to vent to each other about their white bosses who don't ask them about Black Lives Matter and who've been ignoring it this whole time, I wonder how much of our pent-up emotions make us age, whether it be, your biological age, or whether it be how we look, or whether it be how we feel, if it gets caught up and trapped up in our joints and it manifests in inflammation and stuff like that. So if journaling can help, I definitely recommend it to all the beautiful people of the world, but especially Black people of the world, especially if it'll give you an outlet for how you've been feeling. If you don't want to share it with other people, you can at least get it on paper. So, I just wanted to share that because I know when I do it, it definitely helps me. So that's my mental health check-in.
Mine was going to be a tip as well, actually. And it was going to be to get on YouTube and find yourself a 15 to 20 minutes is good to start yoga video. And most of the instructors, the good ones anyway, will leave you at the end of the video with, a couple minutes of just silence and let you spend that time to meditate and breathe how you see fit after your practice. But seriously, male, female, whatever, you need to do yourself a favor and do a yoga video, because the benefits beyond just like, oh, I'm stretched, I've got some blood flowing, it's just kind of like allowing your chakras to move the way they need to, but laying there in silence after you're done practicing and moving and showing gratitude to your body for getting out of bed and being able to move. There have been times that like I've got done with practice and I've laid flat on my mat and I just lay there with my eyes closed and I just stay still and I just breathe. And then my brain will slowly bring to me, I guess, the gratitude that I need to focus on. There's times that literally I'll be laying on the floor and I'll just burst into tears. And it'll be like, damn, I guess like kind of like what you said, like if you bottle up all your emotions and your feelings and you don't give them an outlet, what is that doing to you internally? Like, it's not even like, oh, I was sad when I woke up and I did some yoga and I got even sadder. It's just like your body is just like, thank you, girl, for letting me release. Thank you for letting me get these emotions out of my body and allowing myself to not block chakras and channels of energy, like allow myself to just move through gratitude, through energy, through survival, through, my sense of security and self. Thank you for allowing me to move through all those emotions. And now I'm free of everything that has restrained me and kept me from being my highest self in this day. Don't think that because we're on quarantine, some people have not gone back to work yet. Some people have. It doesn't really matter. The point is that we're just grateful for our life and where it is right now. We're grateful that you have an opportunity to listen to this podcast right now. I'm grateful to be recording this podcast right now. I'm grateful, that I have, the internet to even be able to look up the things that I wanted to talk about on this podcast today. I'm grateful for the books I get to read. I'm grateful for the bed that I lay my head in. And when we start focusing on all those little things that we're so grateful for, it's just like, wow, life does start hitting you differently when it's like, yeah, the world is up in smoke right now, but I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed and so favored to have what I do have and to have the friends I have. That's something that I don't take for granted. Like having friends that just know when to check on me or reach out to me or call me, not even because they want anything, just to be like, hey girl, what you doing? Yeah, I'm FaceTiming you because I'm in the car eating a snack. Like, to me, that feels really good, and I'm so grateful for my friendships and the people in my life. So just take time to be grateful for what you have and who you have, and I promise you, if you do yourself a quick little yoga video, you're gonna feel it. I promise you. Just lay there in silence when you're done and send me a message about your experience, because I promise you, it's more profound than I can even tell you. I'm not saying your body is going to lift off the floor, you're going to float up in your ceiling and stuff like Beyonce did in that Lemonade video, but it feels like that in your brain, kind of, for real. But yeah, that's all I have for mental health. So I did want to add one thing, and that was to treat yourself. And how I plan to treat myself this week is to continue to take care of my body, to continue to cook and eat well, to continue to read and finish a book for this month. I wanted to tell y'all what I am reading, and it is Policing the Black Man, edited and with an introduction by Angela J. Davis, who, if you might have heard of her, if you've heard of Arbitrary Justice, The Power of the American Prosecutor. But it's basically a book by 12 different authors, one of them being Brian Stevenson, that just kind of talks about the system that is policing the black man from arrest and implicit bias and racism and prosecution and sentencing and judging and juries and grand juries. It kind of talks about all those things. So if you want a really good book to read, that is a great one to give you more insight on what it means, not just to be like, oh, I think I got pulled over because I'm black. It, kind of gives you more insight on it. But yeah, just treat yourself. Buy yourself a black-owned candle if you want, or, go on an extra long walk by yourself, or listen to your favorite album from start to finish for a day. Like, do little things to just treat yourself and go in with the intention of saying, hey, what I'm about to do right now is something for my mental health. It's for myself to have a good week, a good month, a good day, whatever it is. Just go in with intention, and it's always going to set yourself in a better mood and in a better place for your day. And that's all I have for you guys.
All right. Well, let's take it on out with a good affirmation.
Yeah, that was part of mine, so you go ahead.
Okay. Mine is just to be gentle with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like we can just be very hard on ourselves, and especially right now, like maybe you're being hard on yourself because you don't feel like you're doing much or enough for Black Lives Matter or any other movement going on right now, defunding the police, but just be gentle with yourself. Again, all of this is also going on in the midst of a pandemic. It's going on in a time where people don't know if they're going to be able to afford their rent next month or where they're going to get their grocery money from. So just be gentle with yourself, forgive yourself, one day at a time. Take it easy. That's it for me. I don't want to explain it too much because I also kind of want it to be what you make it and what it means to you. So yeah, mine is be gentle with yourself.
Okay, well, thank y'all for coming back to the living room time and time again. We know we are the shadiest and most inconsistent podcast, but thank y'all for your patience with us. And I was gonna tell y'all this story that I told you the other day, Sid, but I'm gonna wait till next week. I'm gonna build up some anticipation.
Okay.
So with that being said, we love y'all. Stay great. Stay black. Be kind to people. Be gentle. And with all that love and light being shared with you just now, I want to say get the fuck out of the living room. Vibe out to this music. Peace.
Look, what did it cost me? I just sat and watched the man die. Me and his neck and his hands tied. Word exactly how they planned out. All of this time, we just been having our hands out. Now we take what we demand now. We ain't asking for no handouts. My homie told me I should calm down. That ain't my homie no more. All the money in the world now. Niggas still broken and sold. All of that glitter and gold. Tell me just what did it cost you? Your whole soul that you offer. You better off in the coffin. Yeah.
What did it cost me? Mom waking up to call me. Mom checking if I'm still alive, but I feel the death is upon me. Damn, I saw them burn out a target. Put this target on my back. You can't compare to that. Why? Target to get this shit back. Yeah, I'm not the type to attack. I had to give me a 9. So both of us leaving alive. Oh, I hope you believe in a God and pray that he taking your side, like the world taking ours. Yeah, but what did it cost us? Millions and millions of lives. Fuck it, let's face it. Don't think I'm changing the races. Even we're changing the faces. Passing up all legislations that'll keep them in the cages. That'll keep them from making the decision of killing instead of detaining. That'll keep crackers from raining. Yesterday I chose supreme that I dreamed of a place without violence and raging. Yeah, I'm hoping that is the answer. If not, I'm blacker than Panthers. Always taught me to shoot for the stars. So officers down by the anthem plays. Oh, say can't see. I was born with a heart of peace. The moment they used the trigger finger, from then on it was fuck police. 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 From then on it was fuck